Alright, you guys have been asking for it. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna rank every single fruit in game as of update 21 part 1 for PvP. So I'm gonna include like one fun fact on each of these fruits, and if one really piques your interest, that's something that you might want to research. But I'm gonna try and keep this, not one of those tier list videos that goes on for like 20, 30 minutes. I'm gonna try and keep this under 15 minutes for you. Alright, so first up, barrier fruit. It's fun, it's troll, you can get a laugh out of it. It's D fruit. Blizzard fruit, absolute A tier. Maybe S tier if you're really good, but for most people, I'm going to put it in A tier. B tier, really fun, really troll. I mean, not B tier, bomb fruit. But really fun, really troll. I want to say low B, but I'm going to put it in C tier. Buddha fruit, it's an absolute spam fruit. I'm gonna give it A just because of the defense buffs on it, but I can't really put it in S. It's good, it's a good place to start and maybe learn the basics of combat while you're learning to combo and everything, but otherwise it's not really the best. Chop fruit, yeah, I'm gonna put it in S tier. And by the way, I'm just gonna say right now, all these are like my opinion and my experience. I know some people are gonna be really, really upset that, their fruit isn't where they want it to be, and you can let me know in the comments, but this is just what I've experienced. Chop fruit is absolutely overpowered, especially if you're fighting a sword main, because that absolutely nullifies any and all damage from swords. So it's actually pretty good for such a common fruit. There's actually a dude in my crew that's like almost 20 million bounty who just mains the chop fruit. You do still have to learn to combo and everything, but just because of the fact that it nullifies sword, I'm gonna put it in S. Control fruit. This one's tough. I want to say A tier, but I'm going to put it in B. It's good, but not good enough. It's getting a rework, I think, probably within the next month, I hope. But that's ultimately where it belongs to me. Dark fruit. It's okay. It's not bad awakened. I'm going to put it in B. Diamond. I'm going to put it in C, just because it adds a slight defense buff. I've seen some people that are absolute gods at PvP use diamond fruit, so clearly it speaks for itself there. Dough fruit, I'm going to stick it in S tier. It's a little bit brain dead, but it's still really good, especially if you're learning combos. And I've seen some dough fruit users that are just straight up some of the best players I've seen. It's definitely an S. Dragon, it's an A tier. You're really going to have to learn to combo it and everything, but it has a lot of potential, and it's almost brain dead when you're using the transformation C move in PvP. Falcon fruit, I actually don't think it's terrible, but I'm going to put it in D. For pretty much everyone, it's going to be bad. The only good move on it is the C move. Other than that, it's just kind of forgotten by the developers, and honestly, I feel it needs a rework. It has some potential to be a fun fruit. Flame fruit for PvP, I'm going to give it C. It could be a little bit higher, but ultimately it's not the easiest one to use in PvP. It's got some really good moves, especially awakened, but also unawakened. It's just not bad. Ghost fruit, I'm going to put it in B. Just being able to spawn in NPCs, it can make things a little bit more difficult for your opponent, something more for them to deal with. Ultimately, it doesn't have the best moves, but it does have some good combo potential. Gravity, it has good combo potential. I'm gonna give it B. It's not the best, it's not the worst. Ice is actually pretty good. I want to put it in A, but I'm just gonna swing it in B, just because it can't really handle a fight that's more in the sky. But if you can, keep that fight on the ground, then A is probably your best choice. Leopard, I don't like it for PvP so much, but I've seen people do really good things with it, so I'm gonna say A. The ultimate thing with it is gonna come down to how much PvP combo potential you can give it. So overall, it's a pretty well-rounded fruit. Light fruit, it's fast, it can be kind of troll. I'm gonna give it C. It has some really good potential, but that potential is really hard to tap into. Love fruit, I'm gonna give it A fruit, only for two reasons. You can attack people while you're flying on the flamingo, and you can almost stun people. You can keep them from using an attack move against you for, I think, a matter of just a few seconds, but those few seconds can absolutely make or break the game. So it's not bad, it's pretty good. Oh, and you can spawn in another NPC, so it's almost like a slightly better ghost fruit. Magma, I'm putting in S. Some people are going to want it in A, and I absolutely get that and understand it. just in my experience, it's really, really good for combos and everything, and it deals really, really high damage if you can stun somebody inside the magma. So I'm talking using, say, Sanguine Art's Z move to hold them still in the magma. It's just really good. Mammoth complete spam fruit, but it's not bad. I've seen people that don't spam it, and I have a lot of respect for them, and they're actually pretty hard to fight. You know, it adds a defense buff and all that. It's overall pretty good. Pain. With Pain, you're either the worst PvPer or you're the best. It only has 2 decent moves for PvP, but I'm still gonna put it in B. If you're noticing, B is just the ones that aren't terrible but aren't great. Phoenix, it's good for support. The transformation's kind of trash. Now, if you can use it for a sky battle, use the transformation, it can be kind of decent. I'm gonna put it in B. It has a lot of high potential, just like everything else in B. It just is really, really hard to tap into. Portal, I'm gonna stick in S. For the longest time, I didn't know why people said Portal was good for PvP until I actually started practicing and using it. And the mobility that comes with it, and then being able to use, I forget the name of it, but that domain that you can suck people into, and then, you know, close it out, and then use Soul Guitar and all that. It's really, really, really good at PvP. So much so that it's almost brain dead, but it's not quite spam, so I'm not gonna put it in A. Quake, I'm gonna put it in A. It's really good for those that know how to use it, especially Awakened, but it's a hard one to learn. I haven't even learned to fight with Quake. Speaking here, putting it in A, it's purely off of the experience of the people that I've fought. Rocket, I want to put it straight in S tier, but I'm gonna knock it a few down. I'm gonna put it in C. It's got decent mobility and the moves can be kind of fun to use. That's about all. Rubber, I'm gonna stick in B, only because it nullifies any and all damage from the Rumble Fruit. And as for Rumble Fruit, I'm gonna put it in S. It is among the best. You can combo literally all the moves in the Rumble Fruit just for a one-shot combo. So it's really, really mean. Its only weakness is the Rubber Fruit, and for that reason, some people might want to knock it down to A, but no one plays with the Rubber Fruit, so it's a rare occurrence. I'm gonna stick it in S. Sand Fruit, it's really good when awakened. I'm sticking it in A. Shadow Fruit, it's not great, it's not bad. It's really good for setting up combos with the anchor, so I'm gonna stick it in A. It's really not a special fruit, but I can do some mean things with it. I've seen people that can do more mean things with it. It's going there. Smoke, I actually just beat someone with this today. It's going in C. Sound Fruit is absolutely straight up to A tier. It might even be S. This fruit has massive area of effects moves. It attacks really, really quickly. It has really, really good range. It's just perfect. Not to mention you can buff yourself and allies with the flight move. It's just awesome, especially once you get everything up to gold. Let's see. Spider, again, really, really good combo potential. It's just hard to tap into. I'm gonna stick it in A. It's not quite spam, but I think that's definitely a deserving place. Spike Fruit, it's just off-brand dough. I've seen people do kind of funny things with it, but I'm not gonna stick it in with Falcon and Barrier, so I'll stick it in C. Spin, that's going in with Barrier and Falcon there. It's just kind of bad. It's got a funny little flight move. It looks like a little helicopter. That's about all. Spirit Fruit. Ooh, this one's tough. I want to say A because I'm not good with Spirit Fruit. It's probably a skill issue. Yes, I know. I can see the comments already, but I'm going to put it in S tier because that thing has major combo potential and it has major, major damage that can be dealt. Spring, it's got good mobility. That's about all. I'm going to stick it in D. Venom, A tier. I like it in PvP. It's really fun. I don't feel like I get the full potential out of it. I've seen people that absolutely gobsmack me with the Venom Fruit, so I can definitely recommend it to some people that have more of a fruit primary combat skill set, but I like to stick with my melee and swords, so Venom isn't the best thing for me. Kitsune, straight S tier. It's very spam, but it's so good at spamming that I'm going to put it in S. And for those that don't just spam the C move on it, it is really, really good, especially if you're fighting with it untransformed. And then T-Rex, I'm going to put it in A. I know I can see the comments already, you know, T-Rex in A tier is just mad. This dude doesn't know what he's talking about. The day that it came out, I got it perm. And that same day, I ground 500,000 bounty with that fruit. It's not good transformed. It can be good transformed. It's just not the best. But if you just use the F move for mobility and then use the X move to stun people, it is really good combo starter. And for that reason, I'm going to stick it in A. Not to mention, if you switch to the transformation, just get a quick hit in, then you get that tick damage based off range, which is really good for countering runners. And yeah, that's where everything sits for me. If you disagree, I'd love to hear about it. And if you think that you could have done it better, how would you have done this whole tier list? And I will see you all in the next video.